Hello, good afternoon Tribuners. Welcome back with Pikusul Asyaifah in Indonesian News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating information from every place in Indonesia. And here the complete news. The first news is, provincial government calls all the mosques in the West Java to perform magical prayer for the Emmeril Kahn Mumtadz. The West Java Provincial Government has issued an apparatus letter to all regional apparatus of the Java province, which to prevent accurate prayers for the Emmeril Kahn Mumtadz. The son of West Java Governor Ridwan Kamil of Friday, the 3rd of Jan 2022. The Regional Secretary of West Java Provincial Setiawan Wangstama said in the letter that this appeal to follow up and the letter from the of West Java Province dated to the Jan regarding call to perform accorded prayers for the Emmeril Kahn Mumtadz. He also distributes radiogram with the similar contact to the all regions and the BAYU and the Rings Ministry of the Regional in West Java. It's consistent, requesting that all mosques in the West Java with permanent accurate prayer. Previously report, the Indonesian Ulama Council or MUI of West Java Province appealed with the public performing accurate from west of Emmeril Kahn Mumtadz. The Indonesian Ulama Council was based on a parallel with the number of the reason regarding the condition of the son with the West Java Governor Ridwan Kamil, who was lost in Aria River, Switzerland. General Key Person at West Java Indonesian Ulama Council Rahmat Sharifi said that regarding the disaster experienced by Emmeril Kahn Mumtadz, who went missing while swimming in the river Ari in the Swiss city of Bern on the Thursday 26 May 2022, and until now it has not been found. The West Java Indonesian Ulama Council also feels deep sadness while praying Ridwan Kamil and his family are still given the strength and fortitude in accepting this calamity. This was further written down in the appeal letter from the West Java Indonesian Ulama Council. He said the Embassy and the Republic of Indonesia in Switzerland confirmed the mission out therein the local government has a changed and the shared status of the Emmeril. Taking into the account the information and explanation from the family has described above, he said, taking into the correct provision of the Sharia, the corpus must be prior immediately. He asked all the leaders of the Regency or City Indonesian Ulama Council to the forward to call the ranks of the Indonesian Ulama Council under him and to the Muslim communities in the history. The next news is, Kalmas Student Association urges after the shaking of the KM Ladang Pertiwi. The Kalmas Student Association released the Pangkep Regional House of the Representative Officer after the KM Ladang Pertiwi shipwreck incident some time ago. In this section, they urged the government to provide proper sea transformation in the Kalmas Island. The participants of the action are then said currently there is private shipping operating. It is just the rules travels by the shipping does not cover entire island as much more than Dondongan Kandi, Dondongan Lampoy, and Saburu Village. Not only that, the existing shipping only operated in the 2 weeks. Trust in the considerate unable to meet the economic cycle of the society. Therefore, many people are forced to take fishing boats or expedition to fulfill their daily needs. He also urged his government to add routes to the existing pointer ships. It is not stopped there. He said that currently many Kalmas people are forced to stay in the Makassar port after their bidding transportation passenger to the finished boat and expedition. Their suppliers are also known to have almost run out. Therefore, there are people the Pangkep government will immediately face a solution to this problem. Meanwhile, a member regional House of Representatives Commissioner 3 Pangkep, Muhammad Rapli said he would immediately coordinate with the regional government. The next news is resident of the widow killer cheers. The preparation of the murder of the widow Bojongnangka Village, Kelapa Dua District, Tangerang Regency were cherished by the victim neighbors during the scan on the Thursday 2 Jan 2022 evening. The two perpetrators, with the initial CE 35 years old and MEE 18 years old, kindly ceased because they're hard after watching porn at the victim house together. Today, the Polda Metro Jaya also framed at the scan of the victim house where the perpetrators crying out terrorist action. From the observation of the tribunjakarta.com, at the location residents who were enthusiastic about watching the scan research credits the two actors. There is words even resident for the two hearts to curse trust at the perpetrators, but is immediately reprimanded by the police. Head Mobile Investigation Unit 2 Metro Jaya Police Commissioner Maulana Mukramin explained that the scan was framed out by the two perpetrators on the first crime scan. At the first scan, namely the victim house, the two perpetrators accident out 21 scan. In addition to victim house, the scan of the murder based on hardcore was also carried out in the Gawir Lake, Tangerang City, because the lake the place where the previous station dumped in the victim body. The next news is Pasar District Nationalist Agency against performance urine test. The Narcotics Agency of the Pasar Regency again concluded a urine test for the state civil apparatus and the government employees with the Pasar Regency government work agreement. The urine test carried out today targeted 3 regional apparatus organizations, including the Youth, Sport and Tourism Office, the Manpower and the Transmigration Agency, and the Regional Disaster Management Agency on the Thursday, 2 January 2022. Deputy Regional Pastor Haji Sarfriah Masita passenger said that in the urine test carried out, there were 2 state civil apparatus who weren't any suspect of being positive for the using drug. He explained that the Narcotics Agency of the Pasar Regency was still concluding an explanation of the 2 persons suspect of using illegal drug. Based on the Pasar Regen Instruction number 9 of 2022, state civil operators who were tested positive for the drug will be suspended as salary drug employed income allowance states. Previously, on Thursday, May 2022, Narcotics Agency of Pastor Regency had also conducted urine tests on the state civil operator and the two regional operators. The next news is 1 hectare over burned land. Forest and the land fire began to appear in the Tangerang Regency, Riau on the Wednesday, 1 March 2022 last night. Hotspots appeared in the West Java Village, Pangkep District. The fire burned the land optional the Tangerang Regency House of Representative Office, right near the public commentary on the Tengku Abdul Jalil Street, Pangkep. As a result, a giant team from the Vigilance Agency immediately went to the location to encourage that the fire completely. Chief Result explained that the fire was detected at around 7 p.m. after the Maghrib call to the prayer sound. The bus and the vacant land near community caught the fire and immediately swelled up. After the receiving report and emergence of the forest land fire, a team for the Fire Department Regional Disaster and Management Regency and agencies went to the crime scene. Using firefighting equipment and the car, access testing over national standard by the location the fire. So, is that approved by the future, the combined personnel died several times and struggled with the growing fire. After the fire has been igniting, it is continued the cooling process to show the water was the smaller again, until finally the location can be left after and smoke are the larger here. Clearly said Chief Result. The hotspot and the April in Palalawan was dated to the day before have been successfully extinguished and such as the Tasonilo National Park and the Langgam. The next news is BAYU SAMUDRA'S family left their children murder case to the police. BAYU SAMUDRA'S family handed over the case declared their son as a result of the murder the authorities. This was confirmed by the BAYU SAMUDRA father Sanudin, 62 years old. Sanudin said the incident that the result is a son that was and tweeted at the police. Sanudin hoped that the perpetrators of the murder by BAYU SAMUDRA can receive a reward conspiracy with the action. The reason is not that his son considered by the Sanudin not to be a natural thing, to be a point of limited human life. Sanudin also that BAYU ex-lover was also raised by the police for being involved in the murder case. This was implied by basis on the investigation video from the police that showed the Sanudin. And the last news is, joint team holds routine urine test in the ride. The joint team consisting of the Medan City Transportation Service, the Army Military Police, the North Sumatra National Narcotic Agency, and the Medan City Satpol, a joint health routine urine test arrayed for the public transport drive and a motorcycle inspection drive in the front of the public. Horses Commentary of the Singing Mangaraja Street West the Red Market Medan City District, Medan City on the Thursday, 2 Jan 2022. Various motorized factions of the S join rise of the public transport stretching passing along the road in the cars subsequently did not escape the rights to be stopped, and the driver was asked to come down to carrying out in the urine test. Head of the transport mode section of the Medan City Transportation Service, Harto Simanjuntak, said that the activity is routinely carried out to minimize the number of accidents caused by the action of public perpetrators. It is known that routine riders urine tests and the casting of prevents the census document will be held from the next 14 days, and that is 4 point. Well, I think that's all the news for today with me, Kustul Ashaifa. Thank you for watching and